and welcome to the Duke Center for Living YouTube page. My name is Cheyenne. I'm going to take you today through some chair stretches that you can do in a nice, easy 5-minute routine. So we're going to get started first just by finding a chair. Make sure you're sitting down, make sure it's a sturdy chair and that you're comfortable. Then I want you to scoot forward towards the edge of your seat so that your back is not resting on the back of the chair. And then before we get into our stretches, I just want you to make sure that your posture is in check here. You're sitting up nice and tall and that your shoulders are relaxed. We'll go ahead and get into some stretches, starting first with some neck rolls. So I want you to start by taking your chin down toward your chest as far as you're able to go. And hold it here. And then slowly take your right ear toward your right shoulder and hold. Then take your head to the back, drop your head. And let's take our left ear towards our left shoulder. From here you can continue to circle, so make it more of a fluid movement, or you can go simply from one side to the other, stopping along the way, up to you. I just encourage you to move your head around a few times here. Really feel a stretch on all sides of the neck. Now I want you to change direction, so switch up the direction of those circles. Making it as fast or as slow as you want, just not too fast. And let's bring it back to center. Reset your posture, make sure your shoulders are still relaxed. All right, next thing we're going to get into is some seated cat and cow stretches. So cat and cow stretches are really rounding and then arching the back to stretch out those back muscles here. So that's what we're going to do. First, I want you to take a really big inhale. On your inhale, I want you to take the arms out to the side and back, poking out the chest. If you want, you can grab onto the back of your chair. And then as you exhale, I want you to bring the hands around the front, place them over the knees and round the spine, drop your head. And do the same thing again. Big inhale, go at your own pace here, but alternate between these two stretches a few times. One thing to make sure of once again is still making sure those shoulders stay relaxed as we pull back and forth. We don't want to let them shrug up towards the ears. Let's try and get in one or two more here. It's a great stretch. And let's bring it back to neutral. So we've stretched out the neck, we've stretched out the back a little bit. Let's move on to the torso here, moving on to our sides. So we're just going to do an overhead reach. We're going to start with our right arm. We're just going to reach that right arm up to the ceiling, and then we're going to lean to the left. Should feel a good stretch, almost like down your armpit, down the side of the torso here. Obviously, the further you lean, the more of a stretch you're going to get, so keep that in mind. And let's bring it up. Let's take it to the other side. Left arm comes up first, reaching as high as you can, and then we lean to the right. Remembering to breathe. It's very easy to hold your breath and not realize it, so make sure that you're breathing the entire time. Alternate here on your own. Remembering to not make the movement too sudden. Should be gentle. Let's get one more in on each side. do my last one here. Feels great. Good. Let's roll out the shoulders a few times. All right, we got the upper body. We're going to move on to the lower body. I want to start you off with one of my favorites, and that's the hamstring stretch. When we're sitting for long periods of time, or we're doing a job or something like that that requires us to sit a lot, those hamstrings can get really tight. So we're going to stretch those out. Let's take our right leg, place it out in front of you. Make sure that it's as straight as you can get it. So we want that knee nice and straight. If it's not straight, scoot forward a little bit more in your chair. So knee is straight. We're going to sit up nice and tall, and then we're going to bring our chest towards the floor. So bringing chest towards the floor until you feel a stretch on the back side of the thigh here. And then we're going to hold. If you want a deeper stretch, you might reach for your toes, making sure that that leg stays straight. You're going to want to bend it. I encourage you to try and let it stay straight. And then let's slowly roll it up. We're going to bring that right leg in. We're going to switch and do the exact same thing. Left leg goes out, making sure it's straight. Toes are pointing up toward the ceiling here. We sit up nice and tall, and then we lean our chest towards the floor. Same thing applies. For more, you might reach towards your toes. But if you feel enough of a stretch here, then you can stay here. That's perfectly okay. And slowly roll that up. Moving on to my very favorite stretch, I'm going to give you two options here. First one is going to be the lighter option. Second one will be the more intense option for a deeper stretch. So we're going to stretch out our hips and our glutes. We're going to do that by doing either a knee pull or a figure four stretch. Starting with our right leg, we're going to reach our hands around the shin area, and then we're going to pull that right leg up towards our chest and across towards our left shoulder. The tighter you hug in, the more of a stretch you're going to feel. If you don't feel much of a stretch here and you want something a little bit more intense, take that right leg, cross it over your left. This will open up the hip a little bit more, and then you can lean forward until you feel that stretch in the hip and the glute area. So this one is more intense, so if that knee pull isn't quite enough for you, this is the stretch for you. All right, let's slowly sit up, uncross our leg. Same thing on the other side. Start by wrapping those hands around the left leg, pulling it up towards our chest and across towards the opposite shoulder. My right hip is a little bit tighter, or my left hip is a little bit tighter, so this definitely feels like a good stretch for me, but I am going to take it to that next step. I'm going to cross that left leg over, and I definitely feel that in the hip there. So this one, I can't lean quite as far forward, but you just want to lean forward until you feel a stretch and hold it here. All right, let's slowly lean up, unwind here. We have two more stretches for our legs, and then we'll be all done for the day. So next one we're going to do is for the inner thighs. This one's a very simple stretch. First thing you're going to want to do is take the feet out wide. The wider the feet, the more of a stretch you're going to get. So first option that you have is just placing the forearms on the inside of the legs here and pushing out. So this is one option for a stretch. You'll feel a stretch on the inner side of the thighs. Option for a deeper stretch is to reach those hands towards the floor, which is what I'm going to do, and that's going to deepen the stretch even more. So find the variation that works for you, and let's just hold it here for a few seconds. and slowly make your way up. Bring the feet together. Last stretch is for the front of the hip in front of the leg here. It's called a hip flexor stretch. It's another one of my favorites. So to do this one, we do have to turn and face the side. So we're going to turn to the right, scoot towards the edge of our chair. We're going to take our left leg back behind us, extend it back behind you. And then I want you to think about squeezing the glutes, pushing the hips forward. It's going to open up the front of the hip here. If you want a little bit of a deeper stretch, join me by taking that left arm up and over here for a little bit extra. Should definitely be feeling this in the front of the hip. If not, try pushing the hips forward a little bit more. And let's bring the arms down. We're going to switch sides. To do that, we bring the legs in and then we turn. Super easy. Taking our right leg back, reaching that arm up if you want a little bit more and over, remembering to scoop our hips, push them forward. Holding it here. This is so great. I've been sitting a lot today, so this is a nice stretch for me. And let's bring the arm down, legs together, we'll turn back to the front. We'll finish here with 3 nice deep breaths, and that'll be the end of our chair stretching routine. We're going to inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale, push them away. Let's do 2 more here with me. Last one here, big inhale. And big exhale out. Thank you all for tuning into my chair stretch routine. I hope that you find this useful. Once again, my name is Cheyenne. Thank you all for tuning in to the Duke Center for Living YouTube page, and we will see you in the next video.